Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Parent beats security guard at Cornell de Primary. Scores of children at Cornell de Primary School in St. James were left traumatized on seeing a parent using a baton to beat a security guard at the institution on Monday afternoon. At first time, the condition of the security guard was unknown, but following the incident, he was rushed to Cornell Regional Hospital, where he has been undergoing treatment for the injuries sustained. Reporters were told that about 4:15 p.m. after school had been dismissed, a disagreement developed between the security guard and the parent, who apparently had made his way onto the school compound in an attempt to retrieve his child. However, the security officer, in a bid to prevent the parent from going any further, given the policy of the school that students should be picked up at the gate, tried to escort the parent back to the area, but that did not go down well with the parent. This is total disrespect. The security officer was doing his job on the school compound, a member of the school's PTA said, adding that after the incident, the security guard could hardly stand. The incident has left teachers and other individuals connected to the school upset. Mental health programs in schools needed, says guidance counselor. Amid the rising antisocial behavior among students, Chantel Morrison, guidance counselor at Norman Manley High School in St. Andrew, has appealed to stakeholders in education to implement programs in schools that will help students cope during face-to-face classes since COVID-19 had kept them away from the setting for more than 2 years. According to Morrison, many children were exposed to a lot of physical, sexual, and mental abuse while confined to a home setting. She argued that the experiences during the period in which the schools were shuttered generated negative behaviors in some children who have been displaying antisocial conduct in schools. Morrison was a participant in last Friday's Healing Camp, the student edition, which was organized by the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education at Church on the Rock in St. Andrew. JAGCE accommodated more than 250 students from primary and high schools island-wide, as well as guidance counselors who accompanied them. The aim of the camp was to offer healing messages to the children who are hurting in order to help them cope again in this physical school setting. On Friday, the students were split into groups and were taken aside and asked to highlight the challenges they faced and the pressures that were impacting them. According to Morrison, the students expressed disappointment with the lack of safe spaces and that nothing has been set up to address the mental and emotional problems. While they were away, a lot of negativity was spoken into their lives. Now they are back in school, they feel they just ran straight back into the learning and nobody is taking the time to process their feelings and emotions. They would have experienced so much abuse, depression and anxiety and fear while they were away, and they want a safe space to process those feelings. I think the biggest thing shared by the students is that they want a safe space to express their emotions. They were locked away and never had anywhere to release their negative emotions. I think they need consistency. We need some programs within the school that will allow students to step away from the teaching and learning a little bit to go through all the emotional and physical trauma they would have experienced during the pandemic, she stated. Two of the camp's participants, Shanika Brady and Sierra Cranston, said there was a struggle understanding their mathematics teacher and being stressed by assignments respectively. According to Brady, when the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate exam CSEC approaching, I haven't started studying, I have school-based assessments, and I have to finish the whole of them. With mathematics, I do not understand anything. I have to be going to other math teachers to get an understanding. It just made me feel mad and angry. Cranston reported that throughout the pandemic, she did not have a device to log into online classes. Sometimes she had no Wi-Fi. When me come back to school, me start to pick up a little, but some of the things them me can't understand. That make me frustrated. I miss my small number of friends, and I wanted to come back to school to see them. Now that I get to see them, I don't want to go back to school. Sometimes I just feel stressed. The teachers are stressing us out with a lot of assignments that they pressure us to do. I still don't have a device to do the test. President of JAGCE, Tracy Ann Taffrey Thompson, said the message to students is that they can rise again from all their trauma and negative vibes. No matter the situation they are facing, they are to remember that they are destined for greatness. Whatever they learn, we're hoping that whatever is shared, they will multiply and share it with their peers who are not here. I want to big up our 4 main sponsors, Page Turner Publishing, Bigger, Brainware, and Promo Prints. We also have silent sponsors in the form of family and friends who we thank. Security companies back proposed licensing provisions. Security companies that provide armed guard services are breathing a sigh of relief over planned changes to the regulatory regime of firearms licensing, which will allow their operators to continue unhindered in certain circumstances. In 2018, CEO of the Firearm Licensing Authority FLA, Shane Dallin, indicated that the changes will come in to the law to eliminate the situation where the firearm license are issued to the principals of security companies and not the entity itself. He explained at a meeting of the parliamentary committee at that time that this could present a situation in which a company is waiting for as many as 2 years for a designated license holder to actually receive a firearm license. The new regime under the Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Act 2022 establishes a process which would make the transition of license from the holder to another individual smoother in instances where the original holder has passed or can no longer hold a license. Speaking with reporters last week, Dallin noted that although the license will now be registered to the company, the principals will still be criminally and civilly liable for any breaches of the terms of those licenses. They, the security companies, are 100% comfortable with it. They will tell you that it's one of the best initiatives that they have seen because they have spoken to us about it. It has affected their business, especially where the principal dies and then the license have to be transferred to someone else. It can be wound up in administrators, general issues. So it is something that they very much welcome us doing, said Dallin. There are currently 58 security companies holding firearm business license. Executive Chairman of the Guardsman Group, Kenneth Benjamin, told reporters that the change was a practical move which benefits both the regulator and the businesses. He pointed to instances where 2 principals pass away, which meant legally those firearms should not be handled by the operators, and it did cause a lot of problem. If I were to be in an accident and die tomorrow, legally those firearms are not to be used by anybody because they're licensed in my name. So in a case something happens to me, the business doesn't come to a standstill. We are overjoyed, we wanted it and it makes sense, said Benjamin. He said the new regime would translate to more revenue for the FLA and less hassle for the security companies. The new Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Act is now before a joint selected committee of Parliament, which is hearing submissions on the provision in the law which prescribes new offences and imposes harsher penalties for breaches. The firearm users, business license authorities, the holder to possess and use firearms or ammunition for the purpose of carrying on a business or commercial operation. Among the categories of license issued by the FLA are brokers, dealers, manufacturers, users, shooting range, gun club, gunsmiths, range operators, trainers, and for antique collections. Charity makes donation to upgrade more restrooms at Little London High. Male students at Little London High School no longer have to be jealous that the girls' restroom is nicer than theirs. Last Friday, a group of alumni called Global Humanity Network Incorporated, GHNI, donated $1.5 million that will be used to spur up the boys' restroom, as was done for the girls last December. Little London is very special to that organization, and we are able to get them to come on board and partner with us. The area of concern really was that the male students felt really jealous about the female bathroom. They felt that they were being marginalized, and we do not roll like that at Little London High School. Our objective and our goal is to provide holistic development for every student, and they came on board to actually provide the financial backing that was necessary to transform the male bathroom and bring it in line with that of the females, said Principal Garfield James. GHNI which was founded in January 2022, mainly consists of past students of Little London High School. It is a non-profit humanitarian organization that aims to provide assistance to the underdeveloped communities. The high school is one of the organization's beneficiaries. One of the founders of GHNI, Dr. Stevenson, said he and other co-founders, who were alumni of the school, saw it as their obligation to give back to that of their alma mater. We were compelled to do something to give back because this is the institution that nurtured our early development. That was one of the motivating factors, not just that we are here, but it played such a fundamental role in our development, Stevenson reported. I keep hearing the comments that they're thankful. We're grateful that we have the opportunity to come here and hopefully change the lives of a few of the students here. We decided that life's been good to us, so we need to show gratitude. We need to give back because we can. We need to lift others, he added. They have already established a program to feed needy children. We have implemented our Helping Hand initiative. We ship barrels of food to this very institution, and that is something that we're going to be doing consistently because you can't educate anyone unless they are nourished, Stevenson added. Other projects are also in works, not just for the school but for the wider community. We are exploring how best we can implement our mentorship programs. We had discussed with the principal and the vice principal and other staff to find out what the needs are so that we can help. We have already raised money for our next project, at least US $25,000. In June, we are coming back to renovate the physical education building, and our next thing is to build a state-of-the-art community center to serve this institution and all the surrounding communities, Stevenson added. He stressed that although the organization is fairly young, they are committed to doing work that will aid in the betterment of the community. Also present to share in the festivities was Director for the Ministry of Education's Region 4, Dr. Michelle Pinnock. We're grateful for the donation, we're grateful for the focus on the infrastructure, but we're more so grateful for the fact that the members are able to come back. They're able to interact with students and they're able to mentor students and be able to guide them on a one-on-one basis towards maximizing their potential, and that means a lot to us in Region 4, Pinnock told reporters. Here we believe in developing the whole person, and we believe that it is through the village approach that we're going to be able to uplift each and every child. So undaunted despite all the things happening, we want to make sure that we get our children to understand that there is hope and of course that we must remain positive, she continued. She said donations, such as the one made by GHNI, will further aid in the development of schools in Western Jamaica, and she is hoping it will inspire others to give back. We are very grateful to Global Humanity Network Incorporated, and I am sure that because of their presence, other persons are going to want to come on board, and together we will be able to surround our young people and really uplift each other one by one, said Pinnock. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.